Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, November 8th. Just one day to go till Friday and to the weekend. And if you're anything like me, you find weekends to be kind of boring because the markets are closed. So speaking of the markets, that's what we're going to do this morning is take a look and do a pre-market analysis. But first, as always, a reminder, please do subscribe if you enjoy these videos and want more of them. Let us know, leave us comments, say something in the chat if you happen to be there on the live stream. I know most of the folks that watch this throughout the day are not actually able to be here when we do it live. But if you are here, say hi. I'd love to know that you're here. And please click that little alarm bell if you want to get an email announcement when I'm going live in the mornings and evenings. But above all, really, the big thing is just feedback. Leave us comments. Let us know what you'd like to see us do. If there's anything else you'd like us to analyze or any different way you'd like us to do things or whatever. We're still figuring the format out and experimenting. So let us know. It'll influence what we decide to do going forward. So with that, let's take a look. Yesterday was a hell of a day. Man, just straight up like a rocket on the ES. The S&P 500 was up, 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 up. But here's the interesting part. Where did it go? Right? Well, and here, it went right to the zone I talked about yesterday, which is the 61.8 retracement of the big down move. Zoom out again so you can actually see it. So we have, this big down move, 61.8 retracement was right there. And it's exactly, like just about to the tick where the S&P 500 went, right to the sell zone. And this is the 61.8 to 100% retracement on the smaller time scale. So that is this area over here. So that was my analysis, was that it was likely to go somewhere in this area, but also likely to get stopped by the sell zone. And that's exactly what happened on both counts. So now what? Well, the market is pulling back from that area. You can see it here on the 60-minute. It topped out here yesterday afternoon and overnight went mostly sideways and then finally just kind of let go and started to come down. But right now on the 60-minute, it's riding that trend line, that 21 EMA. There is some support there as well. It's definitely at a decision point here. Now, is it going to decide to break higher and get over this sell zone and get over this retracement area and then ultimately get over this sell zone and really start to move higher? Or is it going to pull back at this point? Since it failed to make a higher high, right? We have a slightly lower high here. That suggests that it could very easily come down and either form a higher low and then the higher high and then start to move upwards, or just plain come down and maybe test this as a double bottom and then bounce up, or come right through it and head lower. Technically speaking, the downtrend here, this downtrend is still intact because it's lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, still technically a lower high. And what's next? That's what we're looking at here. Is this is a very serious inflection point. So we want to watch for momentum in either direction. If it's momentum to the downside, which so far this morning, right now, pre-market, it kind of looks like it's wanting to drift lower. But that could all change once the markets actually open in the U.S. session. But if it does want to head lower, now here's some other interesting tidbits to pay attention to. We had that 61.8% retracement level, which it got right to. So I'm actually going to delete this. I don't need that anymore. I'll just clutter up our chart with it. But now we have this move here. If we assume that this is the top of this move, so then a retracement on that move would take us to one of several possible key levels. Somewhere between the 38.2 to 50% would suggest a strong continuation to the upside. Which I think is perfectly reasonable. After the big, huge move we had down, I think the market wants to grind higher. So I'm watching for that as kind of a target zone, is somewhere in here to pull back to. Now, it may not all be today. It may be, it goes down to here today, and then tomorrow it's, down in here, and then it's able to come up. Well, we'll have to wait and see. It could happen today. Sometimes we get these big range bars, so it depends. But if not somewhere between 38.2 and 50, then the next target is between the 50 and the 61.8. And if the market really wants to head lower, then I think we'll see a break of the 61.8, at which point I anticipate we would see some sort of either double bottom attempt somewhere around in here. This is also a buy zone down here. Don't forget that. So that's another reason why I think a double bottom, if it were to break this far down, would be very reasonable, somewhere in this range. But if there's enough downside momentum, if enough people are scared to finally dump whatever they're hanging on to for dear life, then we could head lower and test maybe the bottom of this buy zone down here, or maybe break on through it and then turn it into a sell zone and head lower. Clearly, that would be very, very bad for the market. So, we don't really want to see a break of that low. That would be really bad news. My hunch, my instinct is that we're going to come down, form a higher low somewhere in this region here, and then come up. But I mean, hey, the market does what it wants to do, so we'll just have to wait and see. Navigator is trending upwards, so that's a good sign. We could do a pullback while continuing to kind of just grind higher, and then maybe on the bounce up, finally it breaks that zero line and heads higher. That would be a really good sign. That would be a good sign of strength, and then it just needs to get over this sell zone, and then it can head higher, and we can start to look to take out these highs here. So those are the areas I'm looking at on the S&P. Intraday, there is this uprising trend line here that I am wanting to see. If I'm a bull, I'm wanting to see that hold as support. Right now, we did hit definitely very overbought levels, so it's pulling back off of that on the Navigator. So, we're watching to see, does it break to the upside, break this box and head higher? In which case, we're definitely, the bulls are still in control. We want to get in gear with them. But if it wants to head lower, then I'm looking for that retracement. Okay, let's take a look at crude oil, and it's just continuing to do what I've been talking about, which is it's stuck in this zone, and it is going absolutely nowhere. I mean, you can see the range yesterday. It had pretty good range, but it started and ended at the exact same place. So we have a doji there. We have basically, at the moment anyway, we have the same kind of situation. We've had a little bit of range so far today, although it's obviously early and gone nowhere. So big, sharp, steep downtrend doji candle. If this breaks to the upside, if we get some upside confirmation, especially if we were to get like a bullish engulfing here that engulfs this entire range, then I would definitely be looking at this as a reversal to the upside, and especially given that we are right down in this buy zone. That is kind of textbook perfect. We do have some levels we got to get over. We got to overcome. We got to hop over this descending trend line and this descending trend line. That's kind of our zone here, our trend line zone we need to hop over, which also happens to be right where the moving average is. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, technically the box is way up here, but you have a much lower risk entry. If you're a bull on crude, you've got a low risk entry here with your stop just below the lows. So if you are a bull in crude, then this is not a bad time to contemplate an entry, because you've got that really low risk idea. And we just need to see a little bit of bullish follow through here to suggest a reversal. So keep your eye on that. On the intraday time frame, you can really see it keeps trying to go lower and just can't do it. It just gets pulled right back up into this zone. So right now, this zone is kind of our magic key level. Notice the navigator on the 60-minute is just going higher and higher and higher and higher. So there is definitely bullish strength wanting to come in here. So watch for a break above this zone, in which case then you can just start to incrementally take out the highs, the previous highs, and those are those signs you're really looking for bullish continuation. Of course, then there's also this big sell zone right up overhead. So there's a lot of stuff overhead to deal with, but signs are looking bullish if we can just get some actual momentum to build in here. But the fact that it's sort of triple bottoming here is a real good bullish potentially sign. So obviously if it breaks this low here, well then forget it. That is canceled completely, and it is time for the bears to be in control and head lower. All right, gold has finally moved a little bit outside of this messy, nasty congestion gunk we've had here. So it has broken to the downside, which on yesterday's market move up, not that surprising, is below the 21 EMA finally, and potentially heading maybe south to this trend line, to this channel line. However, along with that would probably have to include a market correction to the upside, a continuation to the upside, continuation of yesterday, that is. And right this moment, like I already talked about, I feel like the more likely scenario is a retracement, just based on trend analysis. But in which case, I wouldn't really expect gold Oh, go away. What are you doing? I wouldn't really expect gold to continue lower, but gold is not always reverse correlated, as we've seen recently. There are days when the market is up and gold is up, and there are days when the market is down and gold is down. So there's no real guarantee that gold is going to do the opposite of the broader market. But right now, anyway, the bears are in control on gold in the short term. Anyway, we are in a messy downtrend, but it is still definitely sloping down. You can certainly see that on the 21 EMA. It is definitely pointing downwards, and the navigator is getting stronger and stronger and stronger to the downside. So, watch out. Definitely, there is some bearish momentum brewing in gold, and if you are a bull, you really need to wait to see some kind of definite bullish confirmation come out. Which, if paired with a market retracement, there could be an opportunity. I could see gold closing this gap finally and getting to the bottom of this channel before maybe reversing and heading higher. So those are maybe some things you want to keep an eye out on. Bitcoin, crypto market, not a whole lot to say. We did give back a little bit overnight, but now we're right back into this former sell zone, now turned buy zone, and kind of wanting to trend upwards. You can see it kind of hooking around and trying to get over that 21 EMA on the 60-minute. So Navigator did go red, crossed the zero line, but it is hooking around back up as well. So it's just in that wedge. It's the same thing. There's really no new story here. It's just still working on that wedge, and price is just eventually going to get squeezed until it has to go one way or the other. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. As always, you're watching for a takeout of the previous lows if you're a bear, and you're looking for a takeout of the previous highs if you're a bull. It's got to get over this sell zone here. And then, of course, there's a sell zone overhead as well. So a lot of work Bitcoin's got ahead of it. But, if the buyers come in, then it can happen. All right, let's finish out our analysis with natural gas. And it's, again, just a continuation of where we've been at last couple of days, last few days. It's just bouncing around between these two channels, between these two zones, rather, the buy zone and the sell zone. And it's just stuck in the middle. Not really going anywhere. No real signs of serious strength to either direction. So for my money, I'm in a wait and see pattern on natural gas. I'm waiting to break out of this kind of little box it's stuck in. I want to see either a bullish break to the upside over these highs, or I want to see a takeout of these lows here, in which case filling this gap is probably quite reasonable and realistic. We did just cross the zero line on the navigator to the downside. So on the 60-minute anyway, that is a potentially bearish sign. So good for the bears. But right this instant anyway, we've had a very strong bullish candle that has actually poked above the box, above the 60-minute box. Now, of course, it's pre-market, so that could mean absolutely nothing in half an hour. We'll have to wait and see. But right this instant, those are the areas I'm looking at in natural gas. Is we need to hop through this sell zone or hop through this buy zone, or at least into this buy zone to try to fill that gap and establish some kind of direction. Because right now, nat gas is just trapped, going sideways. That is it for my morning analysis. I am looking forward to another great day of trading. Greatest profession around. And as always, please subscribe to our channel if you like these videos, and please do let us know what you would like to see. Also, as a reminder, next week we are going to change the format up a little bit. We're going to finish out this week as normal, morning and afternoon analyses every day. And starting next week, we're going to go to a 2-day-a-week format, Tuesdays and Thursdays, morning and afternoon. It seems to be pretty repetitive doing this every single day because so often there's really nothing new to say. But so for right now, anyway, we're going to just try 2 days a week and just see how that feels. So let us know what you think. And if you want more, if you want less, if you want different, just let us know. We're trying to do this for you. So we really want to do what is most beneficial for you. Hey, Vu, great to see you in the YouTube chat. You're very welcome. Glad you're able to be here. Glad you're enjoying the analyses. I hope your trading is going well. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how it's going since you took the course. So that is it. William, Vu, hope you guys have a fantastic trading day. Everybody else out there, same to you. Good trading. I will catch you all this afternoon for the afternoon analysis. Till then, be well. I'm Jonathan van Clute for Stock Navigators. Bye-bye.